What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. I'm According to Woods, and he is former U of MMA champion Pius Ina Lobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. And holy shit, UFC 275 is coming to you live from Singapore. And man, this whole card, I go back and forth. I'm like, is it a conspiracy theory? Like, oh, maybe they didn't have as strong a fucking card, so they take it out of the U.S. market and give it to Singapore, a market that doesn't get a whole lot of UFCs. So they're like, we'll please that more market, maybe get another TV deal in Asia. I don't know what the fuck. But then also, the fucking, especially like the fucking top three fights, God, I mean, in terms of like name value, you're like, right. But then fucking watching the embeddeds and watching the countdowns, like I already know fucking Yuri and Glover is gonna be fucking crazy. But everything else, Talia Santos versus Valentina, that's crazy. We get a fucking rematch of Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, a returning Joanna Jędrzejczyk who hasn't fought in the octagon since that fight back in 2020. Yeah, 20. Actually, it was like, yeah, I think it was 2020.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I remember being at my homeboy Adam Leach. Shout out to Adam Leach, but he had a party for his wife, like in late February, early March, before lockdown happened and whatever. And my wife was sitting there like, we gotta fucking shake the spot, like this COVID shit. And my wife had already been talking about COVID since I want to say it was October or November 2019, right? So like it was a bunch of us like together out to the spot in Alhambra, and she's like, I don't want to be around or whatever. But I was like, this fucking fight, and they were playing the fights and whatever. And you saw like Joanna have one of them damn Klingon heads from fucking Star Trek Deep Space Nine and shit. And Joanna hasn't fought since then. So this fucking card is nuts. It's nuts.
Indeed, it's nuts, man. I mean, we have Joanna Jędrzejczyk, like you said. I thought she won the match, but it was given to Zhang Weili, which is fine. I like both ladies. You couldn't go wrong with either one of them winning or losing. It was what it was, but I thought Joanna won. But Joanna being the type of individual that she is, she put all that energy into business. Started up a few businesses, opened up a supplement line, cosmetics line, this line, that line. Hey man, she's an entrepreneur. She takes that. You know how Dana White says, you're an independent contractor. She takes that to heart. And, she went out there and doubled down, and now she's winning. Now she doesn't have to fight for money anymore. She's doing very well. And she's only back because she wants to. What a life when you're coming back to fighting only because you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, you were talking about the clothing line, the product line, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the John Jones line or the damn Cowboy Cerrone line dancing or whatever. Different types of lines for sure. But speaking of lines, round down the bodyslam.net line, the good brother Shane Husky says, who's the man without the hoodie? It's Voodoo Maximus. What up, fellas? And the good
what
brother
up,
Shaman Steve. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Shaman Steve. But this is a fantastic card. Great to have everyone here. It's been a while. We're
back, Shaman.
We're back.
We're back. Like Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Murtaugh and Riggs are back.
Are you Riggs or am I? No, are you?
I'll
Murtaugh?
be the old guy. I'll be the old guy.
Okay, I'm Riggs. I'm fucking Riggs. Fucking eating Alpo at the can and shit. That seems like me. Yeah.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah. God, I need to be watching some Lethal Weapon. Dude, maybe just like one of these weeks I'm gonna fucking kick it with like Lethal Weapon in fucking 48 hours. Just watch all them motherfuckers through. So great. Yeah, so fire. Like Kane and the Undertaker. Hell yes. Yeah. But I mean, speaking of fire, I think we go into the first match of this UFC 275. Now, mind you, This is going down in Singapore. So it's going to start. The main card starts at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? Actually, Eastern Standard Time. So it's an early fucking card we got here, and it's a 12 fight card headed by the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship to be contended. But we're going to get started off in the women's featherweight division. This is kind of crazy because women's featherweights aren't getting the love. Everybody says there's not enough stars, not enough competitors. But Jocelyn Edwards actually moving up. Jocelyn 10-4. I believe her moniker is La Pantera. I might be wrong. I'm probably
I think
wrong.
You're right.
Nope. See, because we've been talking to her, talking about her in reference to her, right around the formation of this show. Like we started doing the show right around the time she was making her UFC debut, and here she is. She's a King's MMA protege with the great Rafael Cordero, amassing a 10-4 record. But it's been kind of up and down go for her, because her first win in the octagon was on the historic UFC on ABC 1, where she wins a unanimous decision over Yunan Wu, right? But then she loses via unanimous decision to Carol Hossa and Jessica Rose Clark, right? So now she's fighting Ramona Pascual, and Pascual is 6-3, fighting out of Syndicate MMA, but representing Hong Kong, right? And it's the other side of the story for Ramona, because Ramona is actually on she was on a 4-fight winning streak, and that came across 4 different promotions, that being WLF Wars, Icon Fighting Federation, which you can find Icon on UFC Fight Pass, Invicta FC, again, my favorite MMA promotion, right? All female. And then she loses her UFC debut earlier this year, in February to be exact, to Josanne Nunez, right? So here she is to kind of make it right. So both ladies on a losing streak, so to speak. Ramona with only 1 loss, but that happens to be in the UFC octagon, versus Jocelyn, who is on a 2-fight losing streak, and both being in the UFC. So who you got, Voodoo?
Hey, this one's easy, man. This one's easy. The last time we saw Ramona, she was kind of slugging. She was slugging, and that's very unattractive for me personally. I find slugging unattractive, and that's what she was doing. You don't come to the UFC and start slugging it out. Not early on. You want to show some skill, and I didn't see that. I mean, yeah, she showed a lot of heart because she got her ass whooped, and she kept moving forward, which is stupid. You don't show up and you start doing stupid stuff. Jocelyn tried. She just wasn't good enough. But Jocelyn has made some correction, and she found a way to link herself up with Valentina Shevchenko. That move alone tells me that she will have an upper hand against this Ramona. I am going for Jocelyn to win by split decision. She will move around. She will stick and move. She will try and score points rather than slug it out and go for the knockout. Ramona, on the other hand, I believe will go for that force, right? And Jocelyn will be the matador. Jocelyn win this one by split decision. I don't see her getting a knockout, but I do see her getting a split decision victory.
Okay, I like it. But before we get into me, the good sister of the fam, Ashley Rose Nova, saying hi. What's up, Ash?
Nova.
What up? I'm actually going to go the other way, and I'm going to go maybe split decision, but for Ramona, just because Hong Kong, to Singapore, she's kind of in at least home ocean. Advantage. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying that it on paper it'll look like Jocelyn won, right? That is absolutely true. But sketchy shit goes on when you go into international waters. We saw that over the course of Fight Island 1. And even, in these situations, and it's not just the international waters, but places like New York, Arizona, like they don't have established commissions, you know, it gets all wonky, right? So there might be, without a shadow of a doubt, us at home, you were like, fucking Jocelyn Edwards wins by split decision, just like Voodoo says. But miraculously, like a fucking magic out of the ashes, the fucking cards go to Ramona. So
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Ramona could very well land a shot that knocks the block off the other girl. So, hey, it is what it is. The thing that we both see that we have in common here is the split decision. We don't
Yep.
see one really dominating the other
No.
one, but we do see a split decision victory. So, one thing we know about split decision is it's a 50-50. I got the first 50, you got the second 50. Either way, it's 50-50.
Shit, if we get that shit like 50, we need that vitamin water money, yo.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Fucking yeah, so we can show up with fucking medium sized fucking tank tops everywhere. Damn right. Hell yes.
Hey, if I get that 50 cent money, I won't be wearing a shirt at all everywhere I go.
There you go. Fuck yeah.
Belly out and everything.
That fucking work for that Khaled guy. We the best. Fuck yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on.
Just like that.
Just like that. Just like that. And not much is popping in and showing some support. So we're going to do it right back at you. You can find Ashley Rose Nova in all of her social media page.
Yeah.
Go ahead and check her out. She's got she's fucking blowing up everything on Twitch. I'm going to go ladies first because yes, go ahead and support Ashley Rose Nova if you haven't already done already, right? But then also the good brother Shane Husky, also Twitch affiliate. And both are a part, much like Voodoo and I, part of the bodyslam.net universe, where you can get a litany of combat sports, fisticuff stuff, your pro wrestling, MMA, BKFC, we cover it all. Shout out to Cassidy Haynes, the major domo of bodyslam.net. So go ahead and check their streams out. You'll be glad you did. Right, Voodoo?
Mm-hmm. Oh, all day long, man. All day long. Can't go wrong with it. Can't go wrong.
Hell yes. Well, we can't go wrong because we get another female MMA fight here. We have the 10-4 Silvana Gomez Juarez against Na Liang, right? Who's 19-5. 19-5. Holy shit, that's a hell of a lot of experience. That is actually a lot more experience than some of the guys on this card, or the whole run of UFC and Bellator in, don't amass a 19-5 record. So we're gonna, with all due respect to this tenured veteran of the sport, we're gonna look at her stats first. Okay. All right. This is actually her second fight in the UFC. She lost a ground and pound TKO to Ariane Carnelossi, right? Back in April of 2021, right? But before that, holy smokes, she picks up a 2, 4, 5 straight wins, right? One TKO in WLF. I mean, all of these happening in WLF. Not too familiar with that promotion, to be honest with you, but I mean, KO, armbar. So I'm just
soccer kick.
Yeah. She knows where it's at, right?
Yep.
And has, if anybody wants to speak about her record and what have you, we're seeing Mara Agapova, who's in the UFC, right? That was a loss. Juliana Velasquez. You know that Juliana, the current fucking Bellator champion. Yeah, that Juliana Velasquez, right? And yes, it was a losing effort, but again, anybody that wants to go, sniff skeptical stuff on her record, well, there's two names right off the bat that speak, volumes to me, and I'm not. Liliana Jojua is in here too, from back in 2016. So she's faced, and again, anybody who's, better than anyone, anybody that decides to step on the cage, amateur or pro, there's a
Respect.
certain level of respect that happens there. But I mean, there's three. One's the current Bellator world champion, and two are in the UFC currently. So I think she's in good company, right?
Yes,
Right?
indeed.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
indeed.
that that holds up to me. Right now, we're going to Silvana Gomez Juarez, who's 10-4. Malvada is her nickname. She's a veteran of UWC in Mexico, as well as the Lux Fight League, as Combate Americas as well. Um, Combate is I've got a history of, or with rather, and Lux Fight League. You go ahead and check them out on the UFC Fight Pass, as well as UWC out of Mexico. Those two promotions, I mean, you're starting to see a funnel of fighters coming from those promotions, and Lux Fight League, go ahead and check them out, man. Like the white cage, right? Right, everything. They've got gold centerpieces. The gloves are gold. Like it's just a top class promotion. And I'm a belt guy, right? I'm a fan of the belts, because if you're a champion of a place, right, of a promotion, well, you should look like like a championship. The championship should be befitting of the promotion in which you fight for. That's
Mm-hmm.
my deal. The Lux Fight promotion championships, good God, they're amazing. They're aesthetically appeasing, right? So Savannah has basically plied her trade up and down the roads pre UFC, but then coming into the UFC, Jesus Louises, she gets former LFA champion Lupita Godinez, who she loses to via armbar, right? Lupita, or Lupi, as many of us know her, is a former LFA champion, right? And then the second fight that Silvana gets is little monster Vanessa Demopoulos, the inaugural LFA champ, strawweight champ, who Lupita actually beat to win her LFA championship. So again, two, like the 1 and 2 LFA strawweight champions in history. That's her
Mm-hmm.
first two goes in the UFC. Fuck. That's Silvana's got my respect, because that's a tough road, to go through, and to lose via armbar. We know Vanessa is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. We know Lupita, as well as Lupita's sisters, are ardent wrestlers, hailing, representing Mexico, but hailing from Canada, so that those are not bad losses. So I want to hear what you got.
Hey, this one is not very hard for me, man. First of all, Nia Liang is higher in the ranking by 2 points. She's got more fight experience, 19-5 compared to 10-4. That's already two to nothing. You know what I'm saying? That experience alone in the cage is it's massive. Nia Liang also has multiple wins by submission, especially armbar. Juarez susceptible to armbars. So I'm gonna go Nia Liang. She might not get the finish, but she's gonna really control position, especially on the ground. She's gonna really dominate the ground, and if she doesn't get the finish, she will get the unanimous decision victory.
I like it. I like it. And I would be going that way as well. Like, I so respect the reputation of Liang, right? But the only thing about it is the who Silvana has faced in her UFC, first two appearances in the octagon, and this is do or die for Silvana, where it isn't so much for her opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But facing, I respect the hell out of both Little Monster Demopoulos and Lupi Godinez, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're friends of the According to Woods podcast, like we're yeah. So, but
they're grinders too.
Yeah,
That's the
100%,
issue. Grinders.
100%. So that's what, like, I'm actually going with Silvana on that premise because I mean those fights that Na Liang had with those UFC veterans as well as the Bellator champion Juliana Velasquez, that was some years ago, right? We're talking, 3 to 4 years ago, right? And I'm not saying that she can't compete, but I'm just saying in terms of recency bias, those fights with Lupi and Lil Monster, and also the times where Lupi and Lil Monster won their respective LFA titles, those hold a little bit more weight. If it's a game of, if it's a game of inches, that's where I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just
no. Well, here's another thing that must be considered. What's her name? Na Liang faced these folks a while back. You say, right?
Right.
And she's gotten a chance to let the information process. She's gotten a chance to improve from the mistakes of those times, right? Now, Silvana, recency bias, you say, right?
Yeah.
Has she gotten the time it takes to capitalize on her faults in those two matches? Has there been enough time to learn and grow? This is a question that will be answered come Saturday.
You're absolutely right. I'm going to stick to my guns on this one, but I think
the fact remains that we really don't know these two ladies very well, right? So it's really not a bad 50-50 split. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad 50 because we don't know them. We barely know them. So it's not a bad 50-50 split. I'm not mad at you for going the other way at all. Yeah, but these questions will be answered come Saturday.
Yes, all the more reason to view however you want to view it. You can purchase it or the dubious, the dark web exists for such things. So I'm just saying. But speaking of things that we like to say, what we like to say, Donna Batgirl, right? 12-3. One of our favorite bantamweights here, fighters to talk about. He's repping Mongolia, right? He is Storm Dana Batgirl. Let's look. He's training at the renowned Jackson Winklejohn in Albuquerque, New Mexico, right? And he's been in the UFC since 2019, where he actually faces another person that we kind of have taken a liking to is Heli Alatang, right? Right? But he loses that UFC debut to Heli by unanimous decision, and then KOs Guido Canatelli, right? KOs Kevin Natividad, former LFA veteran, right? And then TKOs Brandon Davis, but then catches a spinning back fist followed up with elbows via Chris Gutierrez. Now, Nana is going to be facing none other than the 17-9 Mr. Perfect Kyung Ho Kang. And Kyung Ho Kang is actually a former champion of Road FC. Shout out to Road FC, who the cage announcer is my good friend, one Jeff Houston. And Jeff Houston is obviously the preeminent BKFC, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship announcer. But in terms of his MMA contract, it's with Road FC. So good to know that, I mean, Kyung Ho Kang has that pedigree with him. Now, in his UFC debut, and I mean, this was a while ago, this gentleman has been in the UFC since UFC on Fuel TV 8, where he has Fuel TV, not Fox Sports, not ESPN Plus, no, Fuel TV. That was back in 2013 when they still had the fucking, what is it, WEC, as well as the Tap Out show with punk ass punk ass skyscraper in the dearly departed Charles Mass Lewis, right? But no contest to Alex Caceres, then loses to Chico Camus. I mean, I could go down. We're going to be here all day if I ran down all of the Kung Ho Kang notables who have been on one side or the other of his record, right? But most recently, he loses a unanimous decision to Ronnie Yaya. But guess what? Just like Kung Ho Kang is an ardent veteran of the UFC, of MMA in general, Ronnie Yaya, Jesus Louises, how long has that guy been in there? OG, right? So I'm just saying, like I this is a really interesting fight, but I think this is where King Ho Kang gets put out to pastures. There's a couple fights on this card where I'm all like, oh, they're getting rid. Like this is a lamb to the slaughter where they're gonna take Old Yeller fucking behind the barn or whoever.
Take him out back
and shoot him right in between the eyes. That's
right between the eyes.
That's it. So I'm going with Dana. KO.
I'm going with
Dana
as well. Because when you look at the young man's record, Kyung Ho Kang, he's a good striker. He's a very good striker. But when he goes against those people who are very skilled in grappling, he tends to run into a wall. And Dana is a very good grappler. He will stand with you. He's got the stand ability, but he's not going to waste his time standing with this fella. First of all, he's high in ranking, so he's not going to want to lose that spot. Second of all, he's a better grappler. So why not grapple Kyung Ho? Why not? He's going to grapple Kyung Ho, and he's going to win by unanimous decision or ground and pound.
Yeah, I like it. I totally like it. So, yeah. What round do you say?
Third round finish.
Okay.
Third round finish.
I want to say it's a buzzer beater second round.
Okay. I'm not mad at that either.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll definitely come after if it's 3 5-minute rounds, so it'll come after the third minute, I feel like. Dana has had those kind of dalliances with just finishing it within the first round. So that and finishing it. Yeah, so that's where I'm going. Right?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. But speaking of cool, we don't have the Portuguese man of war, Aldo Montoya, but what we do have is the Portuguese. Yeah. The Portuguese Andre Fialho, right? 16-4 is Fialho. He is on a 2-fight winning streak that holds the names of Cameron Van Camp as well as Miguel Baeza, where he KOs both of them in the first round, right? But prior to that, he loses his UFC debut to Michel Pieta, someone you, Voodoo, had talked to me about when Pieta was making his UFC debut. It was like, that is the boogeyman, especially when it comes to style bender. Michel Pieta is.
Well, no. Not
that's
Michel.
not him. Is there another Pieta?
Michel is a clown that just does backflips off the wall and all.
That guy.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. Everything I said, disregard.
Yeah, I mean, he's changed since we've been talking about him. I think he's been listening to us. He's changed a lot of that unwarranted movement. He's gone away from it a little bit, and he's reserving some of that for the later third round. So he's winning lately because he's not doing dumb things. So shout out to Michel Pereira, but he is not the one. Alex Pereira, on the other hand, Poatan is the murderer that you speak of, my brother.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm getting my Pieta confused. But anywho, so Andre Fialho, right? Beat Miguel Baeza, beat Cameron Van Camp, but lost to Michel. And then most of his fights have been in UAE Warriors, right? He did have a a little dalliance, a cup of coffee in both. Actually, not just both, but in Bellator, PFL, as well as LFA, right? And the PFL, he actually lost to Action Man Chris Curtis. You know Chris Curtis, when he went on Dana White's Contender Series, fucking broke his hand the opening stanza, and finds a way to super kick a motherfucker until he's dead dick in the dirt. That Action Man, right? A former CES champion, right? So that's Andre Fiallo, right?
Yep.
Now on the other side of the docket, we have none other than the Australian 17-5, the Celtic kid, Jake Matthews. Matthews was on a 3-fight winning streak that saw him beat Rostem Akman via unanimous decision, Emil Weber-Meek unanimous decision, and he goes to Diego unanimous decision over Diego Sanchez. I remember that because everybody was like, why didn't you just fucking kill his crazy ass? Like, put him out of his misery. Everybody was super fucking frustrated, myself included, that Jake Matthews didn't finish off a ailing, it meant mentally and physically, Diego Sanchez. So
ailing.
Yes, and then he lost, and then Jake, being the he I'm talking about, lost to Sean Brady via arm triangle choke. So
I'm not mad at that loss.
Right.
Sean Brady ain't no joke.
He's no joke, but when you go to a unanimous decision with an ailing fucking Diego Sanchez, right? When the fucking, who's that guy that's fucking punching him in the head naked, upside down? That motherfucker. Whoever that motherfucker. I've already forgot his name. His name shouldn't be spoken of again. When you fucking, the coach. God, I forgot. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that dumb fucker. Ah, shit. But yeah, when you go to a unanimous decision to a Diego Sanchez who's about to be fucking cut from the organization, I'm just saying, like, that's like the motherfucker that after Sean O'Malley was, had his leg all fucked up, this motherfucker wants to go and go for takedowns. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Just punch him, damn it, punch him. Yeah. So it's with that being said, I'm going with Fiallo because I'm just saying that's got a taste in my mouth.
First of all, Fiallo started January with his first fight, which he lost. He came back immediately. In April, fought again. Won. Came back right after. Won again. Now his fourth fight in 1 year. This guy is to be recognized. This guy is to be followed. This guy is to be understood because he wants his name to be recognized. And just for that effort alone, I'm skipping Jake Matthews and I'm going with Andre Fiallo, the Portuguese man of war, like you mentioned. I'm going with this guy to go in there and annihilate Jake Matthews straight up. It is what it is. Andre is not here to play around. He wants a shot at the title, and he's proven it by being active. And when someone is active, we support him. Andre Fiallo, second round finish.
I like it. Whoa, McMack. Speaking of Australian, and of course he's going to show up for his countryman Jake Matthews, and he goes super voodoo. Yep, he's on that. Wow. I wonder what the time difference is because McMack celebrated his birthday the second time on the After 83 Weeks podcast. He did it last week and then this week, so hopefully he's a year older than he was last week. That's what I'm going with. So happy 87th birthday, McMack. 87. It never looked better. With a profile picture of none other than Eric Bischoff. That's tremendous. But
McMack.
So we got the 12-4 Steve Garcia, American, going up against let's go with Jair Man She Hate.
Man She Hate.
Oh, if you guys don't already know that it's Pride Month. So don't hire Sarah man she hate.
Hi, sir. Man, she hates.
Like, hiya, sir. Oh man, she hate.
Oh,
And double
man.
dipper. That's what she said. But it's not hiya,
Hey,
sir. Man, she hate.
hey, this some bitch 6 foot tall.
Well, he has to be that tall to hiya, sir. Man, she hate. Right? I mean, I was just saying. So let's go with hiya, sir. Right? Hiya, sir.
Hiya, sir.
Man,
Man,
she
she
hate.
hates.
He's 6'1", but that could also be his actual height. He looks all of 12. Like,
hey,
how did
hey,
he?
hey, remember, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome? Remember
Yeah,
Master
yeah.
Blaster?
Yeah. No, 100%. The
That's this
little
guy.
fucking kid from Waterworld. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So hiya, sir, man, she hate. Uh, man, I want to need a T-shirt with hiya, sir, man, she hate. That's what I need in my life. Like, and not no fucking bullshit ass Venom T-shirt. I want a real fucking T-shirt with him looking like he's 12 with his actual name, man, she hate. But
Oh my god.
man, she hate.
Oh man, she hate.
Yeah,
Oh.
basically got his start on M1 Challenge, right? M1 Global, right? Fedor's promotion, right?
Yep.
He loses a unanimous decision to Nikolay Goncharov. Yeah,
Okay.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
then he goes to WLF Wars, and that's W.A.R.S 40,
Mm-hmm.
and he faces Nanan He. So, for those keeping score, Hiya Sir Manchi Hate beat Nanan He. Then he also beat Yasen Saleh Kabibi.
Yes, he did.
Then goes on to face Zhu
Oh,
Rangshu Hai.
yes, he did.
Then goes and faces a unanimous decision over wins a unanimous decision over Aken BK Jakey.
Yep.
Yes. And then gets a KO, first round KO win over Damu Wu. But then it gets all
Damu.
different.
Hey,
Damu
hey,
Wu.
hey, Damu Wu. You know he's a
Damu!
blood, right? He's a blood.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe
Damu,
we don't need to fucking speak their name in
Damu
vain.
Wu.
Damu.
Damu Wu.
Yeah, I don't want to get blood water all over. Jesus Christ. And Big Mac says it's 4:45 p.m. Friday here. Eric is
Where are you
celebrating.
at?
He's in Australia, like Jake
Whoa.
Matthews.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah,
4:45 p.m. Wow. We're almost at 12 p.m.
yeah, 100%.
11
Yeah,
11:45 p.m.
yeah. But you know what is hitting that fucking RPM? Oh, highest fuck, man, she hate. Face Achilles Estremerdura. Yeah, right. No, he's facing Steve Garcia, the Mean Machine, who has a name
Oh,
that I can.
oh
I
my
don't know.
god.
Yeah. So with Mean Machine Steve Garcia, 12-4, fighting out of Jackson Wink, right? He basically last time we saw him in the octagon, he faced the other Charlie Olives, and that would be Charlie Ontiveros, right? Where he beat him by ground and pound in the second round, right? Then he fucking lost to Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena, before Pena went all fucking nuts, right? Yeah, he's been in the LFA, right? He headlined the card, and then also had a couple fights, more than a couple fights in his home promotion, that being Jackson Wink Fight Night. So yes, Jackson Wink has a pro-am card right there, and yeah, a large part of Mean Machine Steve Garcia's career was fought there. Holy shit! You want to see something? He faces former Bellator World Champion, the baddest man on the planet, Joe Warren. But if you guys, yeah, Joe, dude, there's like fucking pillars of Bellator, right? And of course, Eddie Alvarez and Michael Chandler are there, but so the fuck is Joe Warren. You better put some fucking respect on his name, just like Dave the Caveman Wrinkles. Dude, I remember watching Bellator on MTV, right? with some fucking
time ago.
Yeah, and they were doing the fucking fights at like Fremont Street in Vegas, and you saw like big ass, like literally fucking raw, like butterbean looking motherfuckers, like Eric Prindle and Ron Sparks, and just slanging for 45 seconds, and they fucking gassed out. Everybody talking that shit about fucking Dada 5000 and the late great Kimbo Slice and shit like that. But fucking Ron Sparks and Eric Prindle, put that in the fucking YouTube machine. That 45 seconds and they fucking gas the fuck out. They are on every damn Canelo horse meat this side of Uranus. Jesus Christ. Just fucking looking like fucking Butterbean versus Scott Flash Norton from WCW. That shit was wild. That's how I found Bellator, with Sean Wheelock and fucking Jimmy Smith of Monday Night Raw. Crazy.
Right.
But yeah, man. So you better, fucking the fact that Steve Garcia, yes, it was a unanimous decision, but you went all fucking 3 rounds of the baddest man on the planet, fucking Joe Warren. Fuck yeah, dude.
That's saying a lot.
I'm going with fucking, as much as I love, hey, sir, Manchiate. This Mean Machine fucking went to a decision with the baddest man on the planet, Joe Warren. I'm going with Steve Garcia.
Hey, I'm going with Steve Garcia as well. There's one thing to be 102 worldwide and 32 in China. Hiya, sir. It's 32 in China. If he was like top 10, then I'll be like, okay. But he's not even top 10. 6-1. Though his record says, he's this and he's that. Steve Garcia is a freestyle wrestler. 2, he's got way more fights, way more wins combined than Hiya, sir, in his entire career. So therefore, experience always matters most of the time. 80% of the time, experience matters most. And I strongly believe that Steve's 80% will outdo Hiya, sir's 20%. It is what it is. I'm going with Steve to control the ground game, the fence game, and the only place he might have an issue is with the striking in the middle of the cage. So clinch him up, put him on the fence, take away his striking, take away his kicking, and what does Hiya Sir have after that? We will find out. Either way, I'm going with Steve Garcia. American!
Yeah. America, fuck yeah, I guess, right? We're the Team America World Police. But, like, no disrespect to all of the fucking fights before this, but in the words of the fucking great Jim Ross, business is fixing to fucking pick up. Because all of these fucking fights, again, you might not know them in name, but these are names that Voodoo and I, over the course of doing this show over the last 2 some odd years, I mean, we've been able to see them all make their UFC debuts or triumphs in the UFC after a long kind of, I mean, they weren't household names, and even still, there might not be household names, but I guarantee you, from here on out, you're gonna see some fucking viral Instagram reeled, fucking Snapchat story mode, whatever the fuck, on any one of these, if not all of these fucking fights. This is tremendous. But we're getting started off with the Australian Josh Kulibao, and that big ass DFC fucking belt that he has. Jesus Christ! Oh, that's a fucking, I don't know what the fuck. A big ass diamond with stacked plates that might as well be just fucking a sheet metal. It would stuck sheet metal on a fucking cardboard, whatever. Stuck some fucking, Michael's fucking craft store fucking leather on it. It was like that's the DFC fucking championship, and we're gonna make the fucking Josh Kulabao, Filipino descent for those of you guys that are unaware. But yeah, we're gonna give that to fucking Kuya when he wins his fight. So, anywho, I don't know. So we've got Kuya, who has been in there with Jalen Turner. That was his UFC debut. Lost to Jalen. Has a decision draw to Charles Air Jourdain, right? But then comes back and then beats Shaylan Nuradanbeki, right? Via unanimous decision, right? Now, on the other side of the docket, we have none other than Sung Woo Choi, who looks like a member of BTS. Who I don't know if you guys saw fucking BTS over there in the White House. That shit looked like they were damn animatronics. It was, I can't even believe those South Korean boys were so pretty. They didn't even look real. It was just weird. And they were like, "Oh, we care about the environment and shit." I don't even know what the fuck they were saying. But there was this one whose eyes were just like this. Like, what the fuck? What am I doing? Like he looked like he was on an acid trip. And like all of the other ones were fucking speaking. It was like, nope, not this one yet. Not the okay. And they limited his ass to 5 words. But Sung Woo Choi looks like he could be in a fucking Korean boy band, man. Like, dude's got
K-pop.
looks. Yeah, dude's got looks, but he can also fucking fight. Because that's why they call him Sting, right? Not the message in the bottle police Sting. No, different type of Sting. But that's Sting.
And not WCW Sting.
Yeah. Woo! Now AEW Sting.
No.
But check
not
this out.
Not wannabe Crow Sting.
Yeah. Or the Joker. Showtime. But check this out, man. Like, we might talk about this, Woo Choi's looks, but he's been in there with some bad motherfuckers, right?
Yep.
We're talking, we're, obviously in the, South Korean Asian market, right? Where he, fights in Top FC, Art of War, TFC, all over the place. But he gets to the UFC, right? Loses a unanimous decision to Mozart Evelev, who's going to be fighting higher up on this particular card, right? We've seen Mobzar.
We saw him last week.
Oh, was it last week? Yeah.
Yeah. He fought last week.
Yeah, I knew he fought somewhere recently. But yeah, Mobzar is a bad motherfucker, right? Then loses via rear naked choke to Governor Gavin Tucker, right? Via rear naked choke. But I mean, this is in the 3rd round. So, Sung Woo Choi was hanging in there, right? Then he gets a unanimous decision win over Suman Mokhtarian, right? Then unanimous decision win over Yusuf Zalal, right? Whose ears look so cute. He looks like he has pinback ears. It's so weird. Mr. Yusuf Zalal. But then KOs Julian Orosa, right? Back in 2020, right? At UFC Fight Night. Can't remember which one it was. But then loses to Alex Bruce Leroy, boring ass Caceres, right? Just boring as these motherfuckers, boring as shit, right? But I'm going with my Kuya, dude. It might be because my my wife is majoritively Filipino and what have you. Kuya is a name that we get. It's a term of infinity, like cousin, big brother. That shit. So I'm rocking with Kuya, Joshua Kulabau, and his big ass DFC fucking belt.
That's cool. That's cool. Once you mentioned unanimous decision victory against Mafzar, the fact that he didn't get submitted by Mafzar tells me a lot about this young man's grappling defense. Yes, he lost to Caceres, but the fact that he was able to defend against Mafzar's assault, that's that's that speaks volumes right there because Mafzar is an assassin. He's a Russian killer. He's a Russian ticking time bomb, just waiting to go off on somebody. And just what a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Ige 50K Ige felt the heat, and he was stopped by Mafzar. So Ige is no joke. And if this kid could last against Mafzar and not get submitted or finished, that's speaking a lot. Joshua, he's good, but Su Wu Choi has more experience. So I'm gonna go with Su Wu Choi to touch him up a bit and win by decision.
I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it at all. This is, like I said, like from here on out, these fucking cards, these fucking fights.
Like,
whoo, shit, man. I wish I was in Singapore, dude, because these are some motherfuckers amongst motherfuckers, man.
Oh yeah.
So we got the 6-1 Jacob Malkoon, right? Mamba Malkoon, right? Who's, I mean, he was just in there with AJ Dobson, right? Winning via unanimous decision. Unanimous decision win over Abdul Razak Al Hassan, losing to Phil Haas. But Phil Haas is literally built like a fucking brick shit house. Just muscles on top of muscles. So Phil Haas KOs him, but that shit happens sometimes, right? But Malkoon, who again we've been acquainted with during the course of doing this show, right? And he makes his UFC debut right in the thick of us doing this show, right? We even learn how to pronounce his name correctly. So it's Malkoon. Yeah. So he's going up against Brendan All In Allen. Obviously, all in. I'm not the AEW All In. This, the MMA All In. That's Brendan Allen, right?
That poker All In.
Yeah, which I think comes. I mean, that's where the AEW got their shit from, but I don't know. I don't know shit about poker. I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to that.
I'm all in.
There you go. Voodoo's all in. Yeah, right. But let's look at Brendan Allen. Right, he's he mixes up his shit. He does fight to wins. He does like all-ins, grappling tournaments, all up and down. He's just a complete mixed martial artist, right? Has wins over, Moses Marietta, that's home team. Anthony Hernandez, who he lost to. He actually lost to Eric Anders, ya boy, early on in his career, right? But there was a time where he was on a 7th. Oh, wait, actually. Larry Crown, Tim Hiley, Moses Marietta, Aaron Jeffrey, Kevin Holland, the Trailblazer, Tom Breeze, Kyle Dawkins. That's an 8-fight winning streak, right? Before he loses to gets KO'd by Sean Strickland back in 2020. And then he does
Strickland.
Yeah, that's fucking Tarzan, man. And then he actually does a fight to win 161, where he loses a decision to Hasim Arida, right? But then he goes on his winning ways again, where he faces Carl Robertson and Punahele Soriano, right? Then he fucking gets tested by Chris Curtis, and Chris fucking TKOs him, and then he competes at UFC Fight Pass Invitational, UFC's grappling league, right? And he beats Gabriel Checo, who is, I mean, he's fucking top of the food chain in terms of grappling, right? And then uh, Allen gets that big name win over smiling Sam Alvey, where he rear naked chokes him earlier this year in 2022, right? So I'm actually going with Brendan Allen, man. Some have said that Sam Alvey, and it's wild because Brendan Allen lost to Chris Curtis, who is at one time was a disciple of Sam Alvey and Dan Henderson and the Jesus, what's that name? Team Quest. Team
Yes,
Quest.
Quest. That's right.
Yeah. Team Quest, right? So he's been in there with two notables of Team Quest, right? So that to me, along with the sheer amount of his experience, I got to go with Allen, probably third round KO.
Hey, I'm with you with Allen. Allen is a phenomenal fighter. He's a complete fighter. He's young in the game, but yet complete at the same time. He can only get better from here on out. He's been there against ruthless assassins, like you've mentioned already. Sean Strickland being one of them. His opponent has seen formidable opponents as well. But I like the way Brandon Allen fights. He's very good on the ground, which is most important when you're fighting mixed martial arts. Yeah, it's one thing to be very good on the feet, but if your ground game is not up to par, one just has to take you to the ground and do what they need to do. Jacob, on the other hand, is good on the ground. He's good standing. His wrestling defense is phenomenal. He's only been knocked clean out, by Phil Hawes, like you said, whom is a force of nature, right? But this fella is only very, very decent at standing. Jacob Malkoun, I'm talking about. He's decent at standing. I believe that All In has the ability to put him on the fence. Not only put him on the fence, put his big body on him, his height, put that height on him, wear him down, take him to the ground, and pretty much control the match. He might not be able to take him to the ground and keep him on the ground, but I believe he'll be able to put him on the fence and just bore him to death. And in doing so, can pick up a split decision victory. So I'm also going with All In, Allen.
There you go. Now, Gaming Duck 43 says, I farted. Congratulations. I tooted. Also, congratulations. Hopefully, you don't toot where you fart, right? And
I tooted.
He knows what he has said, but Micmac says, nah, he will get flogged. Like,
yeah, he should get flogged for tooting.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Alex Ramirez, the good brother, says, hey, guys, are you familiar with Camo?
Of course.
I'm familiar with Camo.
I'm very familiar.
And for those who are not inclined, Camo is the California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Organization, the governing body of amateur MMA here in California, right?
Yes.
But are you familiar with Camo? Yes.
David
Denkin. Yeah, David Denkin, also Voodoo knows, right?
Yeah.
Sanctioned a lot of his fights. Reached out and invited me to learn how to become an MMA inspector. Would you guys have any input on that role based on your experience on the MMA world? I'll let you take it away.
It's quite simple. I believe the inspectors are the ones that pretty much shadow the fighter from the back to the cage and back to the back. So pretty much, you sit with you stay with the fighter, watch the fighter get their hands wrapped. Once the hands are wrapped, you follow him or her until they make it inside the cage. You watch them fight, and you're watching every aspect of this individual until the fight is over, and they make it back to the back of the arena or into the dressing room, and that will be your job. Is it a good job? I think it's a good job. I think it's a good job because you get to mingle. Well, you don't really get to talk to them. You could talk to them, but they don't really speak. They just watch you. You know, you just watch the individual, you watch the fight. They go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom with them. Just make sure everything stays copacetic. And you know, if you're into that kind of stuff, hey, this is the job for you.
Absolutely. And that's a pretty belt. That's so tremendous. Thank you for that. But again, I'm a belt guy. Yes, it is. It got what I love, right? It's California. It's mixed martial arts. There you go.
And who'd you get that from again?
This is the inaugural women's 135-pound championship, or better yet, bantamweight championship, won by none other than Brooke the Bully Mayo at Get Down Fights Genesis. Yeah, Get Down Fights Genesis, which was co-promoted by none other than the most decorated, women's mixed martial artist ever in Chris Cyborg Santos, former Strikeforce, Bellator, Invicta, and UFC champion, current featherweight Bellator champion right now, right? And I mean, for me, I'm gonna Mario Yamasaki the hell out of Camo, because back when I was starting my career, pretty much it was the inspectors of Camo that helped me along, right? There was a couple times where I might have paid my ticket to go ahead and do interviews there on the side of the show and what have you. But then once they knew what I was all about, I might have gotten, and I could say this because I don't think the people that I'm talking about are there anymore. But they would sneak me in. I'm like, "What's come sit under the learning tree?" David and Jackie Dinkin themselves, Jesus, their dad Marty was essentially the only person in California State Athletic Commission for a time. He basically sanctioned boxing events. It was him in Rocky and so many other movies. Just an incredible lineage. But out of that, you have JT Steele, who's the Camo president. You have Ryan Spink. You have Victoria Hernandez. Elizabeth Stump LeBeau, right? Like just a litany of just incredible people that have enriched both my life as well as Voodoo's life. Me on the interview side of things, and Voodoo actually
me in the cage side of things.
Cage. Yeah. So
and by the way, Brooke Mayo, boy, is she hot.
Well, congratulations to Brooke and Nino, because
Nino, what a lucky fella.
Yeah, they just had their first child, so kudos to them.
What a lucky fella.
Which again, what's his
name again?
Nino Hatfield.
Nino, you are one lucky fella. I tell you, you are one lucky fella.
Yes. Yeah. So this is her belt. It was actually inscribed by her in the back, which just very touching words. Appreciate everything you do for the combat sports community. You're a real one. Thank you for supporting me and my career, which I will treasure forever. So it's not just it's the belt of a great organization, not just the fact that it is just aesthetically an amazing looking belt, but this is the definitive article. This is the very first women's bantamweight championship under the auspices of Camo. That is here with me, and I'm getting.
And let me tell you one more thing. Not only is she hot, that right there tells you the kind of individual that she is. You know what I'm saying? She gave her belt to him, and she signed it. You know what I mean? That tells you the kind of individual that you're dealing with here. You know, not just a pretty face. You know what I'm saying? A deep human being.
Incredible individual. Yeah. So, over the course, and you can put it in, Chris Cyborg's MMA promotion or Get Down Fights or whatever, you will see Chris Cyborg pose with not just Brooke, but also the inaugural Camo women's flyweight champion, none other than Jasmine Tap Out Queen Pouncy, somebody that you are pretty acquainted with.
Pouncy.
Yeah. So only two of these belts were given awarded that night to the winners. This is Brooks, and then Jasmine obviously will still have hers. So just saying. So yeah, yeah, and I'm glad I asked the question. I'm glad you get you too. And as much as you love combat sports, Alex, absolutely, you'd be the perfect person for the job. And then
Indeed.
you get a front row seat to everything that's going on, and
That's
you
right.
know, a lot of the coaches, a lot of the trainers, a lot of the teammates, or whatever are UFC, Bellator, One Championship, LFA notables, whatever. It's California. We're rich with talents. You know, we're
And understand the colleagues that you're going to be doing the job with are remarkable individuals. We got Martin, we got Felicia O, we got
yeah.
some pretty remarkable individuals that you're going to be working hand in hand. And so
Dave
it's
Michael Bell.
Dave Michael Bell. Come on, bro. It's a win-win situation, man. It's a
Yeah.
win-win situation. I would do it.
Jason Herzog, Mike Beltran.
Come on, man.
Just
Come on, man.
Herb Dean steps in from time to time.
It's a win-win situation. You can't lose going that route. You just can't lose.
No.
Can't
So
lose.
so yeah, do it. And not only are you doing it, but you get at the very least your gas covered. So just saying. You know, and Mick Mac says Brooke is overrated, allegedly. Because he wouldn't be Mick Mac if he didn't throw
Make
those
me
two barbs.
make mad if you didn't make comments like that.
Yeah, no, that's our guy. So yes, so absolutely do it.
Allegedly, Steven.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
See, I got offered the same thing, but see, my problem is I would be less about like if fucking, you know, raps or rapped or whatever. I'm just gonna want to fucking interview them. So that's, and I told Dave Dakin, I was like, I just want to interview. Like I can't just go to the fucking fights. I'm gonna feel the need to interview, which might be a conflict of interest. But I mean, if I wasn't me, I would do it because they actually get a better view than I do. So just saying, yeah.
Hey man, they get to be hand in hand with these superstars, man. You know, hey, one day it's some guy named Johnny Chang, and the next day it could be Joanna Jędrzejczyk, or it could be John Bones Jones, and you gotta watch John Bones Jones. So hey man, sky's the limit when you do this Inspector gig. Sky's the limit.
Nope, 100%. Now speaking of sky's the limit, and we're not talking about D'Lo Brown's lowdown finisher, but we are talking about the 11-2 Jack Della Maddalena, right? And Jack Della Maddalena, he doesn't have a middle name. I mean, not a middle name, but a fight moniker because his name is kind of all over the place. Della Magdalena, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And his given name is Giancomo Della Maddalena, which is even better. But in terms of Jack, man, Jack has been on a tear, losing his first two professional MMA contests, and that being a KO loss to Alden Bates back at Eternal MMA 15 back in 2016, and Darcy Vendy at Eternal MMA 17, where he gets caught in a rear naked choke. So for those who are kind of keeping up with the record, he gets finished his first two pro MMA fights. And in many cases, there have been people, both male and female, who have called it a day after two straight losses. Maybe this ain't for me, right? But what does he do? No, he comes back. At Eternal MMA 20, he basically beats Brant Cogill via KO, right? And he starts a winning streak that is continuing to this day, right? That went through Eternal MMA, through Dana White's Contender Series, and in through his UFC debut, where he KOs Pete Rodriguez on the undercard of the Francis Ngannou Cyril Gane fight, right? So that's Jack Della Maddalena, right? Now on the other side, we have the equally tough and durable Goretz Ramzan Imaev. Now for Imaev, Jesus Christ, that dude, his chin, just like you can't knock him out. He's just got this indelible chin on him, right? But he's a veteran of M1 Global, Pro FC, Leipzig Mixed Fight Cup. I want to see what the fuck that is. Leipzig Mixed Fight Cup 4, right? Warrior Glory, Global Battle. Those are some of the promotions. But the notable ones, right, are and notable wins, right, is a UFC debut where he beats Smiley Sam Alvey via unanimous decision in 2017. Then another unanimous decision win over Alberto Mina, right? And then another unanimous decision win over Stefan Sekulik, right? Then he loses to Anthony Rocco Martin via unanimous decision, but he comes back and rebounds, and he beats Nicholas Stolze, David Zawada, until he runs into Danny Roberts, right? But Ramzan, Jesus Christ, the amount of fucking fights this guy has had. What say you, Vidu?
This one is a tough match because Ramzan is he's a veteran of the sport. He understands what he needs to do to win. Now, Jack Della Maddalena, he needs to come in there and he needs to outwork his opponent. Now, how do you outwork a Dagestani? This is the question that must be answered. How do you outwork a Dagestani with more experience than you? It's very simple. You stick and move, right? We open up this main card with these two fighters, and Jack has to go out there and he needs to impose his will. He needs to go out there and he needs to use his hands and feet, and he needs to stick and move. If he stands still, Ramazan's going to get a grip on him, and he's going to put him on the fence and grind him out. This fight, it's a very, very close fight. It's closer than we think. If Danny Roberts can go in there and get a split decision victory, I don't see why Jack Della Maddalena can't do the same. You know, he just has to survive. He has to survive and steal rounds. If he can steal 2 rounds, hey, split decision victory is all it is to it. I'm gonna go on a limb, man, and say Jack Della Maddalena, man. Even though he's lowest in the ranking, he is doesn't have as much experience. I think the youth is gonna suffice here. The youth is gonna suffice, and he's going to win by split decision victory yet again. Ramazan will fall once more to a split decision loss.
Okay. I'm actually going to go with Ramzan because that dude looks like his head is like of one of those sculptures in the damn Galapagos. Like, shit, dude. Like, he could just eat punches. Fuck, that's what I think. I might be completely wrong, but he might look like a fucking gargoyle. And what happens? You have to fucking chip away at a fucking gargoyle to fucking knock it off its damn perch. And I think that's exactly what fucking Jack Della Maddalena has to do. I think he's a little bit more of imploring of finesse to fucking knock out that damn tough ass chin that Ramzan has. And Chuck
That's a
Liddell,
long chin too.
Yeah,
it's like this long.
That literally fucking Chuck Liddell would have been praying for in the latter part of his career. Fuck it. I'm going with Ramzan. Hell yes. And Mick Mac says CM Punk is an underrated MMA fighter.
Very underrated.
I've rectified that because I've made him UFC champion in UFC 3 and 4.
Man, CM Punk is so underrated. Imagine if the MMA matches were predetermined. Oh my God, he will be undefeated. I'm telling you.
He drew money.
I'm telling you, he would draw so much money, man, that he will be undefeated, and undisputed up to date.
Well, he's the current undisputed, not undefeated, but AEW world champion, but he broke his leg, so he's not going to be wrestling much. Yeah. I'm just saying. Earth right heel hook.
That guy is he's just a great talker. He's not even a great athlete. I wouldn't call him a great athlete. He's a great speaker. He speaks very well. He's mastered the English language to the point where he can use the English language alone to earn himself a seven-figure salary. But when it comes to the performance part, I don't know, Mr. McMack. I just don't think he's got it. I'm just being honest. I've been around this sport. I'm not talking about mixed martial art. I'm talking about the sport of WWE and professional wrestling. I've been around for a very long time, and I've been watching since the days of Oz Baker and Dino San Martino,
Bravo.
or whatever they.
Dino
What'd you
Bravo,
say?
Bruno Sammartino.
Dino Bravo before Dino Bravo. What's that
Bruno
fella
Sammartino.
with the bone? He used to have the bone. He used to crack fools in the head with the big giant bone. Oz Baker.
You're talking about the Moondogs.
The guy with the heart punch.
Yeah, Ox Baker is the heart punch, and then you got the Moondogs with the bones. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's that other guy? What's his name? He was kid friendly.
Georgie Animal Steel.
That guy too, but not that one. That's the one with the teddy bear, right?
Well, mine. I wouldn't call it a teddy bear. What the fuck that thing was? Jesus Christ.
But hey, I'm talking about days of Mil Mascara. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Way back in the 80s. Jimmy Superfly when he was young. We're talking way back, man. You know, Ric Flair way back in the days. We've been watching since way back then. And when you look at the caliber of fellas that you see back then, and you look at what's this guy's name, CM Punk. CM Punk doesn't even walk straight, man. You know what I'm saying? He's got like Jimmy knees. I don't know, man. He's a great speaker. Cult of personality. But that's all he is. Cult of personality. That's it. Nothing physical.
Hey, that's it. And Can Punk is a sick. Yeah.
He sure is a Can Punk.
Yeah. And Eric Bischoff beat him up on Twitter.
Hey, there
that
you go.
That did happen.
There you go. If Eric Bischoff can beat him up on Twitter, and that is his strongest suit, then what's he got?
CDNA. Yeah.
I guess he's got CDNA.
Yeah, right on. But speaking of things that we're gonna see, and they might have some DNA on their blood, on their gloves after this, rather. Mm-hmm. Rodrigo Bontarin, 17-4, is the Brazilian flyweight, right?
Okay.
He looks like a featherweight. Goddamn. What the fuck are they talking about, this flyweight? He looks like he's got the fucking masculinity of a fucking featherweight, 145er, right? But I digress, right? He's got wins over Gustavo Gabriel, where he hit that fucking standing rear naked choke on Dana White's Contender Series back in 2018, right? That essentially punches ticket into the UFC, where he faces a Magomed Biblotov, right? Where he wins unanimous decision. Then a doctor stoppage cut over Ryan Paiva, loses to Ray Borg. It was supposed to actually fight Manal Kape, right? But that got canceled, right? And then he loses to Kai Kara France, but then beats Matt Schnell, and then loses to Brandon Raw Dog Royval, right? Earlier this year, right? So that canceled fight against Manal Kape is finally happening at UFC 275. There you go. Now let's look at the Portuguese Manal Kape. 17-6 is Starboy. That's his record. And Jesus Louises, man. This guy has been an AFL, the Portuguese regional circuit, knockout championship, right? But his first real claim to fame is when he goes over to Japan and fights none other than Uncle Creepy Ian McCall. And shout out to Ian McCall for all the work he's doing in terms of psychedelics and rewiring the brain and everything like that. It's amazing for those who haven't been inclined, go ahead and check out uh, Bryant Gumbel's Real Sports, and Ian McCall is there talking about how psychedelics have helped him overcome traumatic brain injuries or CTE, and he's helping other fighters as well as military vets and people who have suffered PTSD. So, just saying. But he faces and beats Ian McCall in Risen back in 2017. That was his first big name. Then he goes and faces a champ, Koji Horiguchi, but he loses to the head and arm choke, right? Um, Fights through Ryzen all the way to Ryzen or Risen 20, right? And then he makes his UFC debut against Alexander Pantoja, which he loses. Then Mateus Nicolau, he loses that one too. Then he flying knee KOs Odie Osborne, and then he KOs Zalga Zumagulov. So next, he's in with the aforementioned Rodrigo Bontorin. I'm going with Manal Cop. I just feel it. I feel it. Maybe mid third round TKO, but I'm going with the Starboy.
Yeah, Starboy is he's a well, no, I wouldn't call him dynamic. He's an explosive fighter. Yeah. If he catches you in that explosive storm, then you will go to sleep. So this Brazilian fella, Rogerio Bontorin, he's just got to stay cool. He's got to stay cool. He's got to play the long game. He's going to take a beating, but if he plays a long game, he can slow down Manel and really go to work at the end of the round. I will wait to the end of the round to go after Manel Capio, or whatever his name is. If he goes at him immediately, there's potential that he will get his block knocked off and go to sleep by some devastating strike. But if he plays it cool and he drags him into deep waters, then by the third round, perhaps Manel will be a little bit tired and slower, and then he can go to work and put that speed on him and put that pace on him and try and get that finish. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Manel Cape is going to be too strong, too fast, and too destructive for Rogerio Bontorin to handle. So Manel moves on either by unanimous decision or some kind of devastating stoppage, either a body kick to the liver or some head kick or punch to stop his opponent Bontorin. I also will go with Manel in this one.
Absolutely. And shout out to the Queen for her birthday Monday. Thanks for the public holiday. I don't think we celebrate the Queen's birthday on this side of the Atlantic, what have you. But shout out to her. She always has like fucking good concerts. I think one of the Queen's Jubilees, you had Eric Clapton fucking headline, right? And in the band, right? It's Eric Clapton doing Eric Clapton things. And then I think even on the fucking keyboard, it's fucking Elton John. And then on the fucking drum skins, and this happened a lot in the 80s, but this happened, I think, mid-2000s, Queen's Jubilee. But you had none other than fucking Phil Collins on the drums. So imagine on one fucking stage. Wow. Oh, no, like Eric Clapton's Journeyman record from 90, that was before his son passed away, unfortunately. But listen to fucking Journeyman. The drums in Journeyman is done none other than fucking Phil Collins. So just saying. Yeah.
Phil Collins is no joke on the drums, too.
He's no joke on the drums. The fucking, I mean, this is a guy, right? This is a guy who he was a minor child star, did a fucking, a commercial in England when he was young, right? Learns how to play drums, much like how Eric Clapton learned how to play the guitar, right?
Right.
He fucking self-taught, playing drums or whatever. Ends up in fucking Genesis when Genesis was still like this fucking art rock, whatever the fuck, with Peter Gabriel dressing up in dresses and the guitar virtuoso that is Steve Hackett, and obviously Mike. God, I forgot Mike's last name, but Mike goes on after Genesis or during Genesis when Phil has his solo run of the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he creates Mike in the fucking Mechanics. You remember the fucking
Yes.
Living Years? It's too late when we
Run
die.
of town.
That was fucking Mike in the fucking Mechanics.
Wow.
Right? So all of those badass motherfuckers were all in one band, Genesis. Phil holds it down, right? And then Peter Gabriel leaves to go fucking solo. And then Phil Collins steps out from behind the fucking drum kit and starts singing and shit like that, which he was already doing backup for Peter Gabriel. But I'm just saying, and then Phil Collins becomes one of the major fucking voices of the next decade. Genesis is one of the biggest bands of the 70s, and then goes into the next decade, one of the biggest fucking solo stars, and a fucking drummer. Like, I want to say him and Don Henley of the Eagles. Those are two bad motherfuckers, right?
Shut your mouth.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, I'm just saying, right? How can you come from you're like drummers? Like, if girl wants to see the band and whatever, I might want to have a sexual dalliance with a member of the band, lead singer, guitarist, maybe even a bass player. Nobody's really going for the drummer, right?
Not really.
Fucking Phil Collins and Don Henley changed the game. When you got shit like fucking with the Eagles, you got Hotel California, you got Taking It Easy, you got all these fucking whatever hits, right? Then you go over to Genesis, right? And all like the Peter Gabriel era of Genesis, the Steve Hackett era of Genesis, and it just fucking it's so crazy, just wild. They were all on drugs. They just but it was amazing. It was an amazing.
They were all on drugs and making the best
fucking music, right? And then Phil Collins steps out from, like, Peter's like, peace, and then Peter Gabriel fucking goes on in his solo shit, does Sledgehammer and In Your Eyes and all these fucking big hits of the 80s too. But Phil Collins is like, okay, let me go ahead
hold
and
my
try.
seat. Hold my cup.
Hold my seat. Yo, and just fucking tears it. Fucking Genesis has their best fucking selling records of all time. I Can't Dance. Fucking,
I can't dance.
I can't sing. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's so, and then Phil with Sister Studio, In the Air Tonight. This, goddamn, there's so much. Just so
too much. Too many hits.
I'm just saying, bro. Like,
Big Mac says, I still say, man, 80s best era in music.
From literally January, come at me, like from January 1st, 1980 to December 31st, 1989. I want you to find me a better decade of music. You got Kiss still touring. You got Boston still kind of making records. You got the emergence of hip hop. Fucking Aerosmith gets clean. Guns N' Roses, fucking Motley Crue, Metallica.
Too many to name.
Sheila E., Prince, Michael Jackson, Genesis, Sade, fucking Mariah Carey is doing backup for fucking,
too many.
The 80s from January 1st, 1980 to December 31st, 1989. Give me a better decade.
None.
Just say it.
None.
Yeah. Dave Grohl is the best drummer. He's tremendous. And that's another guy, right? Dave Grohl falls into that, Don Henley, Phil Collins archetype where there wasn't really a fucking archetype before. You might have had Levon Helm of the band, right? The drummer that can fucking sing or whatever, and was the front man. But fucking, 5 years later, fucking Don Henley and Phil Collins take it to another level. But Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters, right? Dave Grohl and the late great Taylor Hawkins talk about some
Mm-hmm.
drummers that can fucking belt out songs. You know, part of the fucking Foo Fighters act was Taylor coming from behind the kit and Dave fucking handling the drums, where fucking Taylor is singing "Somebody to Love," and he's pitch perfect with Freddie Mercury, arguably one of the best fucking singers of all time. Just saying. Oh yeah, and guess what? Queen was still recording in the 80s. It's like Def Leppard. Fucking, you know, oh shit, dude. Like fucking
Too much to count.
Ice-T, fucking NWA, all of it. Fucking
Too
Cypress
much
Hill,
to count.
Beastie Boys. Just everything. Jazz, rock, pop, fucking contemporary, art house, whatever the fuck. All hitting in the 80s. All of it. All of it. Just at one time, just name one time that every fucking genre.
Thriller.
Yeah, Thriller. Fucking Yo-Yo Ma. You know, like fucking classical music. Kenny G. Dave Koz.
Too much.
All just
too much.
Miles Davis was still fucking recording and touring
Too
in
much.
the 80s. Bruce
Too
Springsteen.
Much. Too much.
I'm just saying, bro.
Too
yeah,
much.
Love that song. Unhandly Boys of Summer. Yeah, hell yes, bro.
That's a good one too.
The 60s are great, but they're marred. And Beatles.
60s are great for what?
Acid.
Okay.
Acid. Acid.
That's it.
Fuck yes. But I guess we'll talk about the last couple fights here. We got Jesus Christ. So with the top 3 fights, I got love for all 6 competitors, man. And this one is literally a fucking mirror match, right? This is like the Bart and Lisa going over to fucking Shelbyville, and you're like, oh my god, you're just like us. This is an alternative universe. If you guys believe in fucking simulation, well, here you go. If you don't believe in simulation, here you go, right? Because you got Zhang Wei Li and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, right? Literally badasses from their respective countries. Poland and China weren't really MMA powerhouses for women, right? Until these 2 amazing competitors step on the scene. Again, we could go down the stats all you want, whatever.
We don't need to.
We don't need
Not
to.
For this fight.
That last fight that they had, and even Rogan said it as it was happening. The fight alone is probably going to go into the UFC Hall of Fame. And they might get a double induction for.
They will be going.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like it's just mind blowing. It's just mind blowing the amount of tact and tenacity and downright fucking samurai assassin precision that both Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Zhang Wei Li have. Again, I can't pick one. I'm just for premise sake. Whoever you got, I got the opposite. Okay. But if you win, I ain't mad at that.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah,
this fight.
These are 2 of my great. Again, these 6 that are essentially headlining the card, right? The semi-main, co-main, main. All of these competitors are amazing, and as a fan, I feel like super fortunate to be in this time where we got to see their rise. A lot of these people we saw, their debut fights in the organization, and they're now champ or former champ. Like, it's amazing. So I guess go with it, bro. What you got?
Yeah, this one right here, man, it's gonna come to incremental changes and utilization of God-given abilities such as reach advantage. If Joanna Jędrzejczyk goes in there, and stay away from the brawl, do not deliver this type of Hall of Fame worthy outing from last time. Now we must be super technical. Rose Namajunas was super technical, which is why she was so very successful in finishing Zhang Wei Li the first time, and pretty much dominating in the second match. I believe Joanna Jędrzejczyk was champion for a reason. I believe Joanna Jędrzejczyk was reigning defending champion 6 times in a row. Still holds the record. No one up to date has been able to come even close, not even halfway to what she's done. it's a very, very difficult weight class. So with minor adjustment, I believe Joanna and Jacek can make this happen. It won't be a dominating victory, but I believe she won the last time. And if she makes those tiny adjustments, she can win this one by split decision, no problem. A convincing split decision.
I like it. So I'm going to Zhang Weili. I just whatever way that it goes, and
Mm-hmm.
Make says they should have a UFC gauntlet match for the title. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's how the fucking whole thing started. Go back to fucking the UFC. What 1 through 7? That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what happened, right? And then in particular the strawweight title, the UFC strawweight title, which both Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk are former champions of. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what they did. The whole tournament of the Ultimate Fighter was to crown a new champion. And that was the first time that they'd ever done that in that show in terms of the concept of it. And that was a gauntlet. They fucking, so let's see who the best female wins. And Carla Esparza ended up on top, which crazy enough, because Carla's the fucking champ now.
Yeah, but if we run that gauntlet like they used to, UFC 1 to 7, the best person will not be the winner. You know what I mean? The best person will not be the winner. We have to allow these people to heal, come back, and then fight again, right? Like the tournament style that they use in Bellator. They fight today, fight again in the next 3 to 4 months, and then that way you allow the rightful winner to heal up. If they get seriously damaged, they heal up, come back, and then do it again. And these individuals, these fighters performing at 100% is always the best idea, because then we truly get the true essence of the individual. If we run a gauntlet that like they used to, a couple of fights in one day, then let's say the best fighter hurts his hands or hurt his leg or whatnot, then he's handicapped. Then he's not able to perform the way he's supposed to. So therefore, it's not a true representation of the rightful winner or the rightful title holder if it is done in such a manner.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, there's no right way to do it. In terms of gauntlet and what have you. I hate interim champions. No, 100%. But this
Well,
is wild because
interim championships are necessary. They're
are
necessary in some cases. They are necessary. Yes, I mean, look at what's his name, Aljamain Sterling, right? He technically wins the title, and then he's gone for how long? Right? He's gone for well. That's a good time to run an interim title, and then guarantees whoever wins that interim to jump in there next and get the title shot. Many times we've seen people who are rightful number one contenders, but then they never get the title. But with that interim title, it guarantees that this person goes next. However, the company uses that opportunity to do whatever they want. For example, Francis Ngannou, this is the second interim title in his absence, right? The company tends to use this interim ability to manipulate and snake the fighters out of their position, right? If they have a situation where, like, for example, let's look at Francis, right? Now he's got an opportunity to renegotiate his contract and have a platform in which he can speak back to the company. But now they pull the rug right from underneath his feet, and they're like, you know what? Cyril Gane's gonna fight for the title. How about that? Cyril Gane's gonna be the interim title challenger. Cyril and whoever that other person was, I guess Black Beast. So now he's champion, right? Now this undermines Francis. Well, Francis was lucky enough to go in there and beat him, right, and become unified champion again. But see, the company has the opportunity to play these sick, disgusting games, and I'm hoping this is what you're trying to refer to when you say you hit the interim championship. If that's the case, then I totally understand you. But outside of that, sometimes it's necessary because champions do get hurt. Champions do get held up by whatever natural causes, and then in their absence, then we can bring in the interim title and have the interim champion run the gauntlet until the champion returns, and then they fight, and it is what it is.
I see what you're saying, but I'd rather um, a championship every 10 pounds because you
That's
know
not a bad idea either.
yeah obviously it's echoing the same sentiments as Rogan, but Rogan, look how many fucking fights he's seen over the course of his career, right? So essentially, if like from 185 to 205, that's a fucking jump, right?
Huge.
To 205 to fucking 250 or under, that's huge, right? You fucking
155 to 170 is huge. Not to talk about those.
Yes. 170 to 185. That's 15.
Huge.
There could be a middle, whatever. And it lessens the fucking need for interim championships because you've got a champion to cycle in and out of a big pay-per-view, right? Without cheapening the legacy or lineage, rather, of a particular weight class belt. That's what I think. I don't. I think I sneezed. Yeah, there we go. And somebody's had a better music: Kiss, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, and Blondie.
All these people got their start in the 70s, but they didn't blow up until the 80s.
They're all well, with Kiss, they were Kiss and Zepp, you could say. Blondie was still doing shit on the 80s. Rolling Stones for sure. Right?
They're still doing shit right now, Rolling Stones.
Yeah, exactly. So
at 100.
Dude, I want to. That's the bucket list. The bucket, like I've already done John Mayer and Phil Collins, and then I worked the last 2 nights of the Genesis' world tour reunion tour in 2007, right after my son was born. But Eric Clapton, let's say Eric Clapton, Elton John, and the Stones. Those are it. Also, Paul McCartney. Yeah, I'm not a huge Beatles fan, but I actually like Paul McCartney's work. I actually like Ringo Starr's work. I might catch them the next time they come around to LA, you know. And strip the title if they can't defend it. That's actually Dana White is even more vicious than Vince McMahon, where he will strip you like a motherfucker. Whether you fight it or not, he just look at fucking Francis. He's just like, we'll strip you. Look at Tony Ferguson. We'll strip you. Yeah, whatever. And Daniel Bryan did 100%. And he's like, Dire Straits. Dire Straits was doing Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits was doing tours of fucking Clapton and recordings of Clapton. So I'm just saying that still floats over into the 80s. I'm just saying. And BJ's were still making
BJ's are the shit.
Yeah, BJ's are the shit. They were still doing shit in the 80s, right? ABBA didn't want to come around for fucking 70 years and then want to reappear as holograms. I don't understand that shit worth an M, but okay, cool. Dancing Queen, whatever. But yeah, so there you go. So I got Zhang Weili, you got Joanna Jędrzejczyk. May the best female win.
Best lady win.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be, and obviously, this is a title eliminator. Whoever wins gets Carla Esparza and that strawweight title fight opportunity, if you will. So yeah, I like it. So
me too.
We are at the co-main events of the evening. We have the 19-1 Thalia Santos, hailing from Brazil, against the current reigning, defending UFC flyweight champion of the world, Bullet Valentina Shevchenko. Now we're looking at Talia Santos first, And you remember when I was saying about mirror matches?
Mm-hmm.
Talia Santos was raised in Muay Thai from a very young age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her husband is also a Muay Thai coach and specialist, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Looking over at the Shevchenkos, that's exactly what the fucking mom did.
Mm-hmm.
Antonina and Valentina's mom was a badass fucking Muay Thai specialist, one of the best to ever come out of Kyrgyzstan, right? And teaches
Mm-hmm.
her daughters at a very young age. Antonina flies planes, and fucking Valentina fucking wins titles. Like that's just what they fucking do. It was badass Shevchenkos, but they have almost the similar fucking story arc or story start to their
Mm-hmm.
respective careers. And look, 19-1 is Talia Santos. You can't say that she's just like a paper contender
Mm-hmm.
because you might question the names or whatever, but literally her only loss is to Mar Borella, right? In 2019. But
Mm-hmm.
she's amassed again 19 wins across so many promotions. You can't tell me that and even if you're like, oh, the Marbarella, like it solved the question of whether she's a fraud or not. I think Talia Santos is a fraud because of the loss to Marbarella. Cool. I know what you're saying, but you can't undermine the win over Molly McCann, Julian Robertson, Roxanne Modafferi, Joanne Wood,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
she's been in there. She's been in there
Mm-hmm.
with some of the who's who of the that particular division has to offer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Shevchenko, she's Valentina fucking Shevchenko, arguably the pound for pound best female fighter who's ever laced up a pair of gloves. Um, this one, because they're so evenly matched, Talia
Mm-hmm.
Santos might have a chance in the sense that
Yeah.
she has the same lineage.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone has a chance. When you get in that cage, everyone has a winning chance. But when you look at the body of work the champ has and the body of work Santos has, both very very attractive and worthy of notice. But when you go a little bit deeper, you find out that Valentina is married to the sport. There is no children. There is no boyfriend. There is no house. There is nothing. There is just her, coach, sister, traveling from state to state, country to country, training, training, and more training. Santos, on the other hand, has a family, 3 or 4 kids or something like that, dedicated mother, dedicated fighter, powerful individual, but she's not willing to sacrifice as much as Valentina. Valentina has paid the ultimate price. She has sacrificed her youth for this game. And that is the edge that she's going to need to edge out Santos in this particular matchup. That's one. And two, we usually don't go against the champ. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with Valentina Shevchenko. Split decision, I'll take it. Split decision, I'll take it. But I see her outpointing and outstriking and outmoving Santos in this particular matchup. See, though that Valentina might have a Muay Thai base, she is no longer primarily Muay Thai. She is now a dynamic striker, right? You will not catch her flat-footed. She's always moving, always moving. Though it looks like she's standing in the same spot, she's moving. Pay closer attention, and you will see the movement, the counter-striking, the offense, the utilization of hands and feet. There is no one better right now. And Santos is going to have to go in there and lay it all on the line. Is she willing to do so? This is the question. I believe she wants to make it back home to her children. And that will be the Achilles heel that causes her to lose.
for all the reasons that you said, I actually say the other way. And even if Talia loses to Valentina, I think this will be the closest that anybody has come to beating Valentina, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. That's
I
why I
don't know.
said split decision victory for Valentina. You know, it's gonna be a tough match. Santos is a
Yeah,
very formidable opponent, and she wants greatness for her family,
right.
right? But at the same time, you have to give to family. You have to give so much to family. Family is always on your mind, which is a distraction. I mean, you know what it's like to be a father.
Yep,
You know
absolutely.
what it's like. Now you're a father of two, three, four kids, and you have to focus on
Grandfather.
fighting,
Yeah,
and you have to focus on fighting. Come on, man. It's not an easy thing to do
no,
to focus on fighting while you have a family. You know what I mean? In the back of your head, I don't want to get so injured that I have to be in a hospital. My kids have to visit me in the hospital. I
right.
don't want to be so injured that I'm asleep and I don't even know who my children are. You know what I'm saying? When I wake up, these things go through the minds of the fighter that has a family. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It goes through their mind, and that's a hindrance. And sometimes it's that little tiny thing that gives the opponent the edge.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I don't know. I still I say yeah, Valentina could win, but I
So could
think
Santos.
yeah, I'm gonna
I
go
don't have a I
Santos.
don't have a
Yeah,
problem splitting you here. I don't have a problem splitting you
yeah.
here at
Let
all. No
let's do
problem.
that. I just
Hmm.
after seeing the fucking embeddeds and whatever, I just like them both.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna be sad. Whoever wins, I'm gonna be sad that the other didn't win.
Hmm.
It, you
I
know,
just
it,
I just I just hope Santos doesn't get hurt too bad. You know what I
true,
mean?
true facts.
Valentina can stand to get hurt bad, but Santos can't. She has
Yeah,
a family.
100%. Yeah, no, 100%. You're right on this one. So we're gonna split this one. But you know
Okay.
what? We're not split on where we are in this podcast. We're not split at the main events of the evening. And McMac, I hope I love that you said that, but no, no, not at all. But I've been moving my ass a little bit more. But speaking of people that are going to move their asses come Saturday night, is Jiri Prochazka, right?
Hmm.
Who's the number one contender to the UFC light heavyweight championship, right? Looks like a damn Benedictine monk, right? And he's going up against the oldest crowned UFC champion in history, one Glover Teixeira, right?
Hmm.
And these two, this is like Undertaker versus Undertaker back in SummerSlam, wherever the fuck it was, right? Because these are two immovable forces, right? These are creatures from the shadow realm, right? What the fuck looks like Jiri, right? Right?
Hmm.
Nothing, nothing,
Hmm.
right? He just he's there to fucking murder you. That's it.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
all it, right? Then you got fucking Glover Teixeira, who John Hankelman and fucking Chuck Liddell was like, we'd be holding mitts for him. We'd be holding the fucking bag for Glover. And Glover fucking punches so hard that his
Hmm.
knuckles, I could feel the knuckles after. I mean, there's the fucking heavy bag, there's the pad that I'm wearing, and whatever, and I could still feel this motherfucker's knuckles. So
Hmm.
I'm just, Jesus Christ. I think they did fucking Glover dirty, right? They capitalized on how he feels as the champ now, right? Because this is almost like an execution. If Glover fucks up, and I know old school is cool, there's no bigger fan and proponent of that ideology than me. But but we've seen Glover, that fucking spinning back elbow, the fucking Dominic Reyes that fucking wilted him. Jesus Christ. If Glover gets hit by one of that or fucking straight kick or whatever, Glover might be on life support on Sunday morning.
Hmm. That's true. That's true. But you also got to remember, Glover has the ace in the hole, Alex Pereira, to train with. One of the most devastating, dangerous strikers ever to cross. into the octagon. Alex Pereira, the Pantoja, no joke, no joke. Now you got that dynamic striker training with you every day, right? Now
Right.
there's a certain level of comfort that is developed when you get into that cage, because I mean, who's as bad as Alex Pereira? Not much. Yuri's good, but he ain't no Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira will beat that dude easy, easy. He's just too good. Now, one thing that Projaska has is he is not the type to fight based on the principles of fighting. He does things when he wants, how he wants, however he wants. He is unpredictable, meaning it's very difficult to understand what his next move will be. And that is the edge that he takes to the cage, and that is what has been successful for him. However, the only Achilles heel he has is the ground game. He's not that bad, but Glover's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Glover is an excellent wrestler. Glover will get close, clinch you, drag you to the ground. If you stay down there, you're done. You're done. If you stay down there with Glover, you are done. All those that have gone to the ground and could not find their way back up have been finished. Those who are able to remain standing have managed to lose by split decision, get knocked out, or actually win the match. So Yuri is gonna have to pull an ace out of the hole and do something that we've never seen before. Because if he goes back and does what we've seen before, there's a good chance Glover's gonna beat him, finish him. But if he does some fancy movement that we've never seen before, then he could very well surprise Glover and get that flash knockout like he did with Dominic Reyes. But if it's just a regular fight, I got the old man all day long. Glover Teixeira. That's my guy. And I say he wins. Either by split decision, unanimous decision, whatever decision, however decision. Submission. I got my man Glover Teixeira. And I'm rocking with the old fellas, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the old dudes. What about you, Adam? What do you think?
You know, this is what I'm torn, because I really feel like they set Glover up. Like the Cinderella story about him, you know, his immigration papers not working out, and all, like, you know, training with Chuck and training with the old school pit with like Antonio Banuelos and fucking Chuck Liddell and John Hackelman and whatever, right? And he finally at 42 years old, he gets the fucking championship that has eluded him his entire career, right? But Yuri is a fucking
the beast.
He's like a damn, I can't even, he's like the archangel, right?
Yeah.
The archangel of death. That's who Yuri is. He's that. And I to me, I'm all like, they fucking did Glover dirty. And I know that's the logical fucking first, you know, contender, or, you know, whatever. But I don't like it, because I feel like if Prochazka gets it to where he wants it, Glover's gonna die. He's going to die.
But this is the name of the game. This is the name of the game. Glover understands this. This is why he brought Alex Pereira over, brought him to LA. I mean, wherever they're at, or Connecticut, whatever.
Connecticut, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, he's been training with that assassin for some months now. You know, he's already looked into the future, and he knows Blackowitz is someone easy to beat, right? Even as soon as he beat Blackowitz, he already told Prochaska, "You are next." Yeah. I already know what's up. You are next. Even before the UFC said, he already said, "You are next." Yeah, so he already knows what he's getting himself into. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's ready to dive into that deep water. Now, can the young man swim? Can he swim? We will find out. come Saturday.
Come Saturday. So, official pick, you got.
I got the old man.
I got old man.
Mm-hmm.
I want old
You got
man
the young
too.
man. It's okay. You
Yeah,
can get the young man.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
I
it's a
love
worthy
Glover
pick.
too. I love
It's a
Glover
worthy pick.
too. It
It's
breaks
a
my
worthy
heart,
pick.
but if we're going picks, I think
It's all good.
I mean, what we saw Yuri do to fucking Dominic Reyes is
Mm-hmm.
nothing compared to what he's gonna do to Clover. So
Hey, one thing that we must not overlook is Glover's boxing.
yeah,
Glover's
facts.
boxing and his distance control, the pressure, the forward movement. You'll see. You'll see.
Yeah,
Don't count
100%.
the old guy out yet.
No, I never want to. I never. And this ain't just any old guy. It's fucking Glover Teixeira
This
with
is
some
the
respect.
old guy.
Yes, and his family will spur him on to Victory Boulevard here in LA. I spent some. Yeah,
Yeah.
but speaking of victory, we are victorious. The fact that we have you guys here with us here, rolling with Voodoo in the Woods. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Voodoo in the Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, but also found on bodyslam.net. We're on all of their social media pages. But if you want to get us individually, I'm According to Woods. You can find me across the board. The principal podcast is According to Woods on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And then any other social media, you're gonna get fucking pure ass memes. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna fucking like Baz Root and fucking liver punch your fucking sense of humor, because that's just what I do. And Voodoo, where can they find you on social media?
Hey man, Voodoo Maximus, just type in Voodoo Maximus and whatever pops up. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Facebook page and all that. So look for me on those platforms and let's get it cracking. Like, share, and subscribe, and leave a message. And
yes, after this beep. But
that's right.
Speaking about beeping, you guys are amazing. Have a great weekend. Enjoy these fucking fights, and we'll see you sometime soon with more Voodoo in the Woods.